This all comes back to everything we've talked about today. TARP and bailouts and all this stuff goes back to what is the role of money in financing campaigns.
And so it all comes back to campaign finance.
Everything that's wrong in this country traces its way back to that, because you as an individual, your voice is, maybe you have a bigger voice and I have a bigger voice than the average voter, but if you're a well-heeled corporation or a well-funded hedge fund, you're swinging a lot more weight than 100 million people in the country.
A little bit of an interview from this week from my SiriusXM radio show with the author of Bailout Nation, Barry Ritholtz. We're talking about TARP, which also ended this week. And speaking of this week, another piece of big news, Faisal Shazad, Pakistani-American. We know this guy, right? He was sentenced to life in prison without the chance for parole. Why? Because he tried to blow up his SUV in Times Square. That'll actually do it. This is You Are Here. I'm going to take you through it. This is Faisal Shazad's nice home here in Shelton, Connecticut, where he lived with his wife and 2 kids. And April 2009, Faisal Shazad gets naturalized as an American citizen, and then authorities tell us that he went to Pakistan, where he got training from the Pakistani Taliban to learn how to make a bomb, make a weapon. Luckily, they weren't very good, or he wasn't a very good student, because there's his bomb that didn't go off. Thanks to a couple of good Samaritans who saw that car smoking. They saw something and they said something. Wow, it worked. That's great. And about 2 days later, Faisal Shazad was on an airplane trying to get out of the country, but he was nabbed by the feds and police, who did great work and should be applauded for that great work. They brought him in. He waives his rights, apparently, and sings like a bird, gave actionable intelligence to the authorities. And about a month and a half later, Faisal Shazad finds himself, not here, I'm sorry, this is it, finds himself, I get confused with these beautiful paintings. Faisal Shazad finds himself pleading guilty to all 10 counts against him in a federal court. The system worked. He is in prison for the rest of his life without the chance for parole. Goodbye, Faisal Shazad. Well, next. Politicians, well, they need your attention, don't they? They always do. I do, too. If they want your vote, politicians need your attention. So what happens when they get the attention, though, of late-night comedians? Coming up, the subject of our Roasted segment. Each week, people do great things. Sometimes it makes the news, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, here's a look at 5 people who this week, well, they're much better than me. This guy, his name is Alfredo Quiñones Hinojosa. We'll call him Dr. Q. It's easier for me. He was an illegal immigrant picking weeds in California. Then he went to community college and he learned English. Then he earned a scholarship to Harvard Medical School. And now, at age 39, he's the director of brain tumor surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. When I was in college, I just wanted to be the best resident assistant in my dorm. Dr. Q, you are way better than me. This handsome young man, his name is Alex Darrow. He's 16 years old, and this week he started a website to raise money to fight diseases in children. When I was 16, I just wanted to get my license, and 2 days after I did, I drove into a ditch. Alex Darrow, you're much better than I was when I was 16. This guy, well, I don't know. He's not very good. He's eating a donut. Victor Perez is our next contestant. He is the unemployed California man rescued an 8-year-old girl abducted outside her home. He's a total real-life hero. He was actually honored by Governor Schwarzenegger. Victor Perez, you're much better than me. I've never rescued anybody or anything. And lastly, these 2 guys, they're professors from England who this week, they won the Nobel Prize for Physics by creating the thinnest, strongest material known to mankind. These guys are way better than me. This week, I actually created this right here, a jack-o'-lantern with my daughters, but then I actually burnt my hand when I was putting the candle in. So all these guys, well, they're way better than me. Well, you think comedy is just fun and games? Not if you're a politician. Each week, we highlight the harshest political commentary from the world of late-night television. One well-delivered punchline and a candidate's best-laid talking points can be totally knocked out by laughter. We call it Roasted. And nobody seems to have been roasted this week harder than Delaware Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell. Did you catch her newest political ad?
I'm not a witch. I'm nothing you've heard. I'm you.
I'm you. That's the message she was trying to get out to Delaware voters. But here's what happened when the comedians got a hold of it.
There's Christine O'Donnell. You've probably heard about her. She has a new campaign ad where she says she is not a witch. Yeah.
Not as effective as her opponent's slogan, I'm not Christine O'Donnell. That's more effective.
Well, Well, good luck, Christine O'Donnell. And thank you for watching today. Remember, stay engaged, think for yourself, and have a great weekend. I'm Pete Dominick. We'll see you next week.